Springsteen Deliver Me From Nowhere is a musical biopic starring Jeremy Allen White as Bruce Springsteen and Jeremy Strong as acclaimed manager, critic, and writer Jon Landau. The film centers on a pivotal and challenging period in Springsteen's life, exploring the creation of one of his most critically acclaimed albums, Nebraska. Brut sat down with both Jeremy Allen White and Jeremy Strong to discuss the film. Springsteen Deliver Me From Nowhere shows a very specific side of Springsteen's life and career. Why do you think it's important to show this side of his story?
I think for several reasons. I think the first and maybe most obvious in first reading was sort of, it's a story of real artistic integrity and the ability to sort of listen and hold yourself accountable and be honest. Be honest in your work and be honest with yourself as well. Another is, we're meeting Bruce at such a crossroads in his life. I think the reason that he wanted us to sort of tell the story of this period in time was because I think the decisions he made in this time allowed him to live the life that he wanted to live. It allowed him to be able to find Patty and be a good partner, to have a family, be a good father. And I think these were things in his 20s and at 30 he was unsure of, and he had a lot of doubts about his abilities. And so I think it was important for me in this film to show a sort of fight for a family that he just wasn't aware of yet,
One of the things I love about the film is that it's not trying to tell the big, broad story of their legacy. It sort of telescopes in on this particular moment in 1982 where there had been a sea change in Bruce's life. He had sort of been catapulted into this new level of fame. He'd come off of the River tour. He'd been on the cover of Time and Newsweek. But he was lost. And I think it was a point where he came to a crossroads. And, I think great movies are all about those crossroads moments, those sort of road to Damascus moments.
Jeremy Strong plays Jon Landau in the film, Bruce Springsteen's friend and manager, credited with discovering Bruce early in his career and famously writing the line, "I saw rock and roll's future and its name is Bruce Springsteen." Strong spoke with Brut about how the film explores Bruce and Jon's story.
Jon, who, he famously wrote that essay in 1974 and it changed the trajectory of both of their lives. Jon was a friend of Bruce's and Bruce brought him in on Born to Run and then they just decided to work together. But I guess, to me, what's captured in this movie is a story about the making of Nebraska, which is one of the great albums of all time, and maybe my favorite album of Bruce's. But it's also a story about repairing trauma, and it's about repairing trauma through art. In Bruce's case, repairing trauma through music. I think that is a really critical part of Bruce's legacy. He's written about it very openly in his incredible autobiography, Born to Run. But, and he told David Remnick famously in a great New Yorker piece that he's a repairman, and his job is to repair aspects of himself, and that will allow him to create meaningful art that can be healing.
What's your relationship with Springsteen's music, and do you have a favorite song?
It's hard and it changes. I really love Racing in the Street. I really love House of a Thousand Guitars. I love Nothing Man. I love The Ghost of Tom Joad. Those are some of my favorites. Thunder Road.
I've been asked to pinpoint the first time I listened to Bruce, and the truth is I don't remember a time when I didn't know Bruce. I don't remember a time I didn't know his name. I don't remember a time I didn't know what he looked like. I don't remember a time I didn't know at least, Born in the USA, Hungry Heart, Born to Run. But I do think Born to Run was the first song that caught me. how anthemic that song is, how catchy that song is. I remember being 8, 9, 10 and hearing that song and really being like captured by it.
Jeremy Allen White does his own singing in the film. He spoke with Brut about what it was like to perform and shoot scenes singing Springsteen's iconic songs.
Born in the USA was the most difficulty I had, because even with that 6 months, that's not exactly singing, it's more like shouting in key. That song is so difficult to perform. And I found in order to get the right sound for it, I was singing from my chest and my throat. Really, when you sing that song, you have to sing from your stomach, but to get the sound that I wanted, it was necessary for me to sing from here, and so there's a lot of strain. I don't think I was breathing properly. It really laid me out singing that song.